I am so excited to be speaking to you today because for me, you are the face of power, strength, and so many other things. I had the opportunity to watch the premiere episode of Unlock Family Secrets, and I had to watch it twice because your story was so powerful in a way that, as someone who struggles sometimes with forgiveness, you are an
Mm.
exemplary example of someone who has gone through what many women would consider their worst nightmare. You just inspire me so much. I could go on, but I am here to talk to you about this episode. I want to begin by just asking, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. I'm so grateful that OWN has given me this opportunity to share my story,
Yes.
share my scholarship, share my work, and spread this story to the OWN audience
Yes.
and to a greater audience, because
Yes.
healing in America, girl, we need healing in America. I mean, today, where we are today, we need healing talk.
Yes. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that because a lot of times there is a lot of shame associated with secrets.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you are just sharing your story. And I know in the special you mentioned, you said, I want to share my story to promote healing in others or to help others heal. But for you personally, what was it that made you say, hey, I do want to be a part of this project? I definitely want to share this story, no matter how painful it was for me.
I it was easy. It was quite easy for me to consent
Mhm.
to sharing my story because I have been trying to get my story out
Yes.
there
Yes.
because my story is a powerful story. I have had people to tell me that when they started reading my story, they couldn't stop at
Mhm.
chapter one. They just continued and continued until they finished because they needed to see what happened at the end of that story.
Yeah.
And of course, every story continues, but stories in themselves are so powerful. And the reason they're so powerful is because people can connect to those stories. It's
Mhm.
something in a story that the mind attaches,
Mhm.
not data, not statistics,
Right.
not, information, but it's something when you connect with a story, you never forget it.
Mhm.
And the lessons learned, you can you can transfer those lessons to other people who are experiencing the exact same thing. And I tell you, so many experience um the agony of being deceived, and they don't know how to manage that.
Right.
But I made up in my mind early on that I was not going to live with poison, and I was not going to live uh, with pain, and I was not going to live with uh, what what my experience brought me. I was determined to heal, and
Yeah.
in doing that, as you forestated, you got to share, you got to open up. You can't hide.
Hmm.
If you expect to heal, you can't hide. I
You
had
know,
people who would
oh,
look at me and say,
wow.
and every time someone looked at me, because I didn't have the luxury of moving from my city, and it was a
Yeah.
very public scandal. And I didn't have the luxury to move away to Australia or,
Hmm.
another country or another state. I stayed right here in my community. And I would see those faces when they saw me and
Hmm.
recognized me and said, Lord have mercy. It's so shameful what happened to you. I mean,
Yeah.
what they said happened to me. I
Hmm.
was feeling those feelings of shame. And so I didn't want to feel that. I
You
wanted
know,
release from that. I wanted freedom from that.
as my grandmother always used to say, Miss Lydia, you don't look like what you've been through.
Yeah, when I tell people I'm 73, I get
Mm.
these, but us,
Yeah,
we
well,
got the melatonin. We got
there
the
it is.
melatonin, girl.
Yeah.
That's for us.
Hmm.
And I'm so grateful that God has kept me because
Yes.
I still want to find a life partner.
Yeah.
I hadn't
Yeah.
experienced finding someone who I have completely enjoyed living with.
Right.
And when I married my ex-husband, we had a great time.
Hmm.
We had a loving and we had a loving family. I mean, we loved each other. We were a family that loved it. That's why it was so painful when it ended,
Yeah.
because we loved each other so much. And so I know what that looks like, and I know what that feels like. I know what laughter feels like. I know
Mm.
what being loved feels like.
Yeah.
And so, I want that again in my life.
Well, I have some notes here because on my
Okay.
second go round, I said I got to take notes when I talk to Miss Lydia. You said, no, I'm so serious. You said so many powerful things that not only did I take note for our conversation, but just on a personal level. One of the first things that I noted was you said, secrets are a prison and they will kill you. And it's so funny because it's like, in the Black community, let's just talk about it. We are taught what happens in this house stays in this house. We're taught not to talk about what goes on indoors, outdoors. And then you couple that with the Black church. And it's so funny because I'm watching your story and I'm like, oh my gosh, I relate to her on so many levels. I tell people growing up, I was in church on every day of the week that ended in Y. If it ended in a Y, I was singing in the choir, on the usher board, doing it all, youth campaign for Christ, all of it. And so when you
Yeah.
couple that, but in church, there's still always like whispers of different little things and scandals going on, whether
Oh,
it
yeah.
it, it becomes really big or if we're able to contain it. So with your story, it was just like a combination almost of what they how they say a perfect storm. You have this marriage that is seemingly amazing, picture
Yeah.
perfect family, a man of
Hmm.
God, and
Yeah.
that's what we ask for. We ask
Yeah.
the Lord to
Yeah. Yeah.
send us a man of God.
That's my
And
prayer.
yeah, and it's just like you not only dealt with secrets within your marriage, it was like, okay, now we have the church aspect of it because we are leadership in a church. And then the mother aspect, and I want to celebrate you as a mother as well, because as moms, sometimes we will endure so much to keep our families together and to protect our
Yes.
children. Can you talk to me a little bit about that with your three amazing sons?
Yes, and my youngest son is running for mayor of the city of Atlanta. So
Oh,
I am
yes.
super proud of my baby boy, because I
Yes.
mean, he was a challenge. I'm telling you, I lived in the assistant principal's office, but
Okay.
I was at the school 24/7 dealing with my baby boy. But uh being a mother for me was just what you said. I felt like I had to protect my children.
Mhm.
And a lot of what I tolerated, a lot of what I endured was because, hey, my kids are elementary, middle, and high school. My kids are young and they need a household that's stable. I wanted them to experience having a father and experience a family being cohesive, if you
Right.
know what I mean,
Yes.
because that means so much in child development. Now, I got to tell you, that came from my mother.
Hmm.
Annie Mae Mitchum died
Yeah.
this year, and I have been grieving
Oh,
so much.
I'm
She
so
died in
sorry.
February of this year. Me
I'm so
too.
sorry.
I mean, I've really been going through, but my mother, what I learned about my father later in life, I would never know
Hmm.
when I was a child. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? What
Yes.
she endured, so that we could have a home with a mom and a
Hmm.
dad there. And she would not allow us not to esteem our father. We cherished him. We thought he was the perfect man. When we prayed for a man like our dad. It was like 9 girls in the family. My mom, it
Yeah.
was like 13 in the household. So that's how she protected my father. That's how she protected her kids. That's what she did for us. That's the
Yeah.
sacrifice she made for us, so that we could emotionally manage life, because we had such a strong family foundation. We could go out and we could fight against racism. We could fight against sexism. We could fight against those powers uh, that told us that we would not make it in life, that we would be uh, not successful. She created a family home, a space for us to thrive. My
Yes.
mama did that. That's what my, and that's what I got from my mama.
Yeah.
I wanted my children to thrive, and anything I could do to make my family work, that's what I did. That's why we went to therapy so long,
Yes.
because I'm thinking, hey, we got to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, even though my kids were in their 20s, they still, they, hey, the pain was
Yeah.
just as intense as
Mm-hmm.
it would have been if they were in grade school or high school.
Yeah. You used a phrase, Miss Lydia, that I thought was so huge. You said that Dennis had deconstructed your life. And I was just like, wow, because it's like you put in this time, this love, this effort, you create this family, you create a environment for your children to thrive. And then you said also, it's like you hit me with a truck and you keep running me over. And it's like, I done been hit by this truck, you keep running me over, and now you have deconstructed the blood, sweat, and tears that I have put into this marriage to keep it together. Not for nothing, our boys. And that was just so profound to me. You said so many people are going to heal and people are going to be touched by this episode. You just have no idea what you and
Glory,
Om
hallelujah.
have come together to
Like
put
my
out in the
mama, like
atmosphere.
my mama would say, to God be the glory. That's what my
Absolutely.
mother would say, to God be the glory. Because
Absolutely.
that's my intent.
Yeah. Yes. And another point that you made was therapy and how it was so helpful and impactful in allowing you to forgive. And you made a statement that said, forgiveness is freedom. And I'm somebody, girl. I'll hang on to a grudge like a baby with a baby doll. Okay. As I get older, I'm learning because, remember how they said, what is it? Holding a grudge or being upset with
Yeah,
someone is like
yeah,
drinking the poison and expecting them to die. And when you
exactly.
and when you said that forgiveness is freedom and that in order to keep your family from being fractured, you had to forgive Dennis. I almost ran
Exactly.
around my bathroom with that when I
No,
said,
no, I'm
boy,
telling
she,
you, honey. Because I listen, my goal was my family to continue to be a
yes,
family.
yes.
And that could not happen with hate.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't be a family with hate. That
Yeah,
couldn't happen. We
yeah,
had to have love. We had to have acceptance. We had to have forgiveness.
yeah.
And we know what forgiveness looks like, because we know how it was modeled uh, in our faith. My faith tradition
Yes.
is, Christianity. I'm a Christian, and
Mm-hmm.
so we know what that looks like. We know what the text says, what love is and what is not. And one of the main things that love is forgiveness.
It's forgiveness.
That's one of
Yeah.
the main things that love is. And so if you are going to claim that
Mm-hmm.
you are a Christian, that's why you got so many fake Christians,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody, you've been hurt, but you don't
Yeah.
want to do what Jesus did. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Hey, what you want to do is get them back. What you want is revenge.
Yeah.
What you want is them to hurt as bad as you hurt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What you want is payback.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not the way. Because just like you said, it injures you.
Right.
You are the one that's injured. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as you give up that hate, that the adversary would want to keep planted
Right.
in your space and in your heart. As soon as you give up that, you're free to live, you're free to be healthy, you're free to be beautiful, you're free to laugh from the inside, you're free to laugh out loud when you give it up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
You
do.
can't laugh out loud hating people.
No. Yeah. It's hard to laugh, child. It's hard. It's
You
hard
gotta
when you're
let it
carrying the
go.
weight of that, you
You
know?
got that's hey, you said it. Weight.
Mm-hmm.
That is weight.
It is.
And it's too much weight to carry.
It is.
And as soon as you give up that weight, hey, you can run like a sprinter.
Absolutely. Miss
You can
Lydia,
fly like an eagle.
I
You got to
appreciate
let
you
that weight
so
go.
much.
Hey, lay aside the weight.
Yeah. I appreciate you so much because just for even having this conversation with me today, because I just admire you in a way that you probably will never understand. And I appreciate your transparency, because through your transparency and through this show, you are going to touch and heal a lot of people. Because even though, I'm trying to walk the walk and talk the talk, sometimes I still side eye people a little bit, but it's just a beautiful reminder of number one, not hanging on to secrets, because secrets, you said nothing but pain comes from this space of secrets. And a lot of times, shame will trigger us to keep something a secret rather than sharing it, healing from it, and allowing someone else to learn, or even not even just learn, just to say, hey, I didn't go through this alone. Because if we are more transparent with one another, we'll realize how much more we have in common with each other.
Exactly. Exactly. It's called empathy. That's what it is.
Yes.
That is called, I'm an English teacher. And so
Yes.
I teach rhetoric and composition. And one of the rhetorical devices that's so powerful is rhetorical empathy. When you are
Yes.
able to use your stories
Hmm.
to bring emotion into another person to help them shape, uh, to form into uh, an individual
Hmm.
that's not holding grudges, but releasing those kinds of things. Because you're shooting for with the rhetoric, you're shooting for persuasion. You're shooting for transformation,
Right.
and you're shooting for change. You can't change a person without without them seeing your humanity,
Right.
your humanness,
Hmm.
and then they can connect with that humanness because of the magic of empathy, because
Right.
it's magical,
It is.
you know.
It is.
And other people, other women will feel it. um I want the world to know this piece of work here, because I had a lot of tears
Yeah.
that it took to compose it. But at the end of the day, I'm
You're
happy.
smiling.
At the
Yes.
end of the day, there's laughter. At the end of the day, there's rainbows. At the end of the day, there's sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, one thing he left me, I was in college, and my dad wrote me a letter. And we were dirt poor. I mean, we lived on a dirt street in a raggedy house, and with 10 kids in the household at one time, all the time, because my mama was having a baby every 2 years. And my daddy wrote me a letter while I was in school, and he said I had made the dean list. I had made the dean's list at Vanderbilt
Hmm.
University, and to him that was just so great, because his boss, he was making $35 a week.
Wow.
Well, it went up a little bit,
Of
because
course.
he ended
Yeah.
up making $15,000 a year at the apex of his career. And so for his daughter, and his boss was didn't look like us, and
Hmm.
for his daughter to be at Vanderbilt making the dean's list made him so proud.
Yes.
My daddy used some stationery from that restaurant, and he composed a letter, and I never will forget. I'm trying not to cry because I don't want to mess up
Okay.
my makeup.
Okay.
And he told me in that letter, I never forget it:
Hmm.
Lydia, never give up hope in life.
Wow.
Keep, and he knew life was going to be hard. He
Yeah.
knew it would be hard,
Yeah.
But he said, never give up hope. He
Mm.
said, keep the faith that you have in God. Now, I didn't even know my daddy knew I had faith,
All right.
but they taught us that. They taught us to pray. They taught us to believe, and everything will be all right. And I stand on
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
You just keep on living, no matter what you have to face, no matter what you have to endure, but it's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right.
You
Wow.
do what you're supposed to do, which is
Mm.
love people, forgive people, do the right thing, and everything is going to be all right.
Thank you so much for that message. I sincerely appreciate you. And thank you for taking time to talk to me today. I cannot wait to see the reactions to this episode. I know people are going to be locked in. Even when I posted the trailer, my audience was like, "Oh girl, are we going to watch this together? What we doing?" So I am so excited, and I just know that it is going to be impactful and it is going to change lives because you've touched me. You've touched me, and I sincerely appreciate you. I thank you for taking time to talk to me today, and hopefully we can talk again soon. But I sincerely appreciate you.